I am so excited to do a little night with a newborn tonight. So I just want to show you a little bit about our setup. I want to do basically from we get ready for bed to the early morning hours when we wake up. So I'm going to show you around our little bedroom setup here, and then hopefully you enjoy. I love watching YouTube videos of mamas doing a night with a newborn and just kind of seeing what happens in the middle of the night and just kind of knowing that we're not alone. So here is our little setup here. Okay, I just wanted to show you my setup for the evening. So that little Perry bottle I actually use for my wipes, for my baby wipes right there. These are super soft. I think the brand is Buttons. I had these for Millie and now I have them for Nola. These are our cloth diapers, so I usually have 4 to 6 of them ready for the night. I have a couple pacifiers there. She sort of likes pacifiers. It's more of like an evening thing if I'm doing something and Ryan needs to settle her. I have our Owlet sock here. It's just charging up. It's probably fully charged at this point. Nipple butter, which is funny, I don't use it for my nipples, I use it for my lips because it is the best ever for lips. I use this diaper balm not because necessarily that she has a rash, but I like to prevent rashes sometimes with the cloth diapers. I find that she gets a little bit of a rash from her own pee. I don't know what exactly that's called. It's like from the acid or the acidity in the pee. This is our hatch rest. I usually have it on the rain setting, and when she wakes up I turn on the nightlight so that I can see, and it wakes me up a little bit and it doesn't wake her up much at all, but then I can see when I'm trying to help her latch and everything. So this is my setup. Oh, and I have a couple of those swaddle blankets, not to swaddle her with, but for burping or changing her in the bed. Oh, and this is a wet dry bag. That's where our dirty diapers go. Okay, someone's calling my name. Alright, this is going to kick off the night with a newborn vlog. You can see me and Nola are dancing here in the kitchen. I had just cleaned up and Nola was getting a little bit fussy, so I cranked up the worship music and we just danced in the kitchen. Meanwhile, Millie and Dad were in the bathroom. Dad was giving Millie a bath. Sometimes I join with Nola, but she doesn't need many baths yet, so it's not super common. Then we join Millie and Daddy in the bed for story time before Millie gets about 20 to 40 minutes, totally depends on the night, of TV time before bed. Okay, I'll call this the first feed of the night. It is 8:40. We're just about to finish our showtime with Millie, and we're having our first feed. Got my little hatch light on, got my water ready, got all of our diaper supplies ready, and Ryan is going to bring me my haka because I like to use that in the middle of the night and store milk. Here we go. Okay, I forgot to mention that, I'm not sure if you noticed, but there is no bassinet in here, so I understand it's not for everybody, but we do bed share here, so she wears her Owlet, and I feel super confident in my bed sharing abilities with my newborn. My toddler and my husband don't spend the night with us anymore, at least not yet. They probably will eventually, so I feel pretty safe in that too. So I just wanted to preface this video. So once we're winding down, after our first feed, I get the Owlet sock ready. I make sure to charge it during the day. Thankfully, the Owlet Care app lets you know if your sock is low on battery, and several times I've forgotten to plug it in the morning, so I just make sure that I plug it in when it tells me that. I think it charges full battery in about 2 hours or so. Unfortunately, Nola really hates her feet being touched, so I try to get it on when she's either completely asleep or just do it as quickly as possible. So this is just me getting that Owlet sock on, and then I put a nice cozy sock on top of that so that her foot stays warm and it can actually read. I feel like if her foot gets cold, it can't really read the oxygen status very well. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you.
I love you too.
You little sneaky sneaks. You're just a little unsettled because Mommy wasn't in bed with you, huh? Is that why? After my husband and toddler went to my toddler's room to sleep, it seemed like Nola got a little bit unsettled, probably because I left the bed and had to go do my own little thing like brush my teeth and get ready for bed. So I ended up just trying to burp her, trying to soothe her, and then I ended up doing just a little bit of a half feed here, and I think that's just what she needed in order to calm down again and get ready for her sleep. This is how we go to sleep at night. Usually she's in a little cuddle seat position with me and we just snuggle. I give her lots of kisses and she falls asleep super easy. So our first wake this night was at 11:34 p.m. This is pretty quote-unquote typical. She is only 3 weeks old, so what's typical at this point? But honestly, she wakes up every 2 to 3 hours, which is perfect and perfectly normal. So I will get her out of our cuddle C position. I will pull her up on me. I like to use my body pillow for breastfeeding. It works perfectly. And I just try to remember which breast that I fed on first last time so that I can start on the opposite side this time. I use my haka on the opposite breast of the breast that I'm feeding. And I usually only do this for the first half of the feed. I won't switch the haka to the opposite side at all. So you can see here I got 1 ounce. That is pretty typical. I usually add anywhere between a half an ounce and 2 ounces. It totally depends on how long she slept. And honestly, sometimes it's which side. So then I bring the haka milk into the kitchen. I try to do this every feed so that we don't have milk sitting out for too long. I usually take her with me too so she doesn't get too unsettled. As you can see, we are just getting back into bed after dropping off that haka milk in the kitchen. I immediately go to changing her diaper, and I just love those little arm stretches, the little leg stretches sometimes, the little toots, and all the noises in between. It's just so cute no matter what time of day it is. I use my peri bottle for the wipe, and it is just room temperature water, but she really doesn't seem to mind, so I haven't thought about changing it or heating it up or anything like that. Then I use some diaper balm just to prevent any rashes. Again, she doesn't have any rashes, but I feel like with my first daughter, without using the balm, she could get a little rash from her urine or something. It's like an acidic burn. Then we put the diaper immediately into the wet dry bag so it doesn't smell up the room. And then I go to padding, burping, etc. so that we can lay down and go to sleep. She usually falls asleep pretty darn quick. And I feel like the whole process from her waking up to feed to going to sleep is about 30 to 40 minutes. Not too bad. You can see our second wake this night is 2:58 a.m., which is also, again, pretty typical. That would be 2.5 hours from about when we went back down after our last feed. So I get her out of our cuddle C-curl position, and I try to remember which side that I left off on and start with that side. As you can see, I am a little bit more sluggish for my second or third wake time. It's pretty exhausting feeding a human in the middle of the night, if I do say so myself. So get my feed in. Usually the whole entire feeding process takes, 10 to 15 minutes. Use the haka on the opposite side again. I am really lucky that I got another ounce on this side. And honestly, it is so nice to have 3 to 4 ounces of milk that I didn't have to pump in the morning, and I put it right into our deep freeze. I feel very lucky that I have such a powerful letdown on the opposite side of feeding her. It has been a huge blessing, and it makes me a lot less nervous for going back to work. So then after the feed, I try to burp her a little bit and make sure that she gets a lot of her herpes out before we go to the kitchen and drop off our haka milk. And then sometimes I'll burp her again before we lay back down. I did another diaper change here. She either had poop or pee or both, and I try to get her all nice and cozied up. put that diaper balm on, and get her ready to cuddle and go back to bed right away. So our third wake up was at 5:55 a.m. this morning, and I forgot to mention that, to be honest, she doesn't really cry to wake me up. She mostly just kind of grunts. She's a very grunty baby, and her oxygen levels have always been fine, her coloring's always been fine, so I haven't been too worried about her actual grunting being a airway problem or anything like that. But it's just kind of funny because anytime she wants to tell me anything like, hey, I need to poop, or hey, I'm peeing right now, or I want you to pick me up, or seriously just anything, she just grunts. Like, that's just who Nola is. She's just a little grunter. So she usually does that, and honestly, if she cries in the middle of the night, it's very quick, and it's typically if I leave her in the bed to go to the bathroom or go to the kitchen or something like that. So we've been really lucky in that regard. Here's my last trip to the kitchen in the morning. All right, fourth wake up, 7:28 a.m., also known as we are getting up for the day. Gotta tame the mane really quick so we don't get hair all over the baby. I feel like my hair was a bit disheveled the whole night, but I mean, truly, whose isn't in these newborn days? So get her up for her feed, lots of snuggles and kisses, and then we just kind of hang out, burp her, wait for the family to get up for the day. Overall, I would say that is a pretty typical night, and in between feeds she slept good. It's 7:30 and she's just waking me up for the morning. I'm going to feed her, and I'm going to change her, let the dogs out, and probably any minute my toddler's going to come walking through the door with my husband. At this point in the morning, we just cuddle until my toddler and husband come through the door, which is usually just around 8 o'clock, sometimes a little before, sometimes a little after. This morning she took her pacifier for a few seconds, and then I take off her owlet sock because I know I'm going to be up for the day, and to give her foot a little bit of a breather. And we truly just cuddle. I soak in all the little moments that I can get before I have two little girls to take care of for the day. Hi! What's that little penguin waddle about?
What's this?
Just to come give you a hug. I missed you all night. Hi! I missed you all night.
Oh, I see it.
I love you, Millie. I just have to say that the newborn snuggles are literally the best, and I don't know, I just know that this time is so fleeting, and I don't know if I'll ever get it again, so I just try to embrace literally every second I can, holding her and cuddling her and kissing her and loving her. It's my favorite thing. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. It's probably as real and as raw as it's going to get here, and it's a very accurate depiction of what 3 weeks old and exclusively breastfeeding looks like in our house. I feel like my first daughter was exactly the same, waking up anywhere between 1 and 3.5 hours. Millie, I will say, probably wasn't as grunty as Nola is. It's just who Nola is, though. She just wakes me up by grunting, and pretty much for whatever she needs, like I said earlier in the video. So it's just adorable, and I'll take that over screaming any day. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can't wait to make the next one with both my girls, and I will see you guys soon.